fan films. There's just something so pure, so charming about fan films. Viewers become enamored in the world of a major motion picture and feel an irresistible pull to create, to contribute, to give the world something that resonates just as those original films resonated so much with them. Indiana Jones may not be on the level of Star Wars, Star Trek, or even Ghostbusters or Harry Potter when it comes to fan films, but nevertheless, there's just something about Indy that has inspired amateur filmmakers since the release of the original film in 1981. Every single one of us who has put on our version of that beloved costume has dreamed and lived the fantasy of being Indiana Jones, and indeed have had our fun by producing countless skits for social media, short films for YouTube, and even feature-length films that belong in a cinema. There are dozens, perhaps hundreds, of short and feature-length Indiana Jones fan films produced over the years, including some which are of real quality. Just as George Lucas and Steven Spielberg paid tribute to the films that shaped them in their journeys to becoming filmmakers, many of the folks behind these fan films have used these experiences as a stepping stone, going on to professions in the film industry themselves. But which of these projects represents the precipice of indie fan creations? The ones that every true fan must see. The best Indiana Jones fan films ever. For this countdown, we're only looking at films which have been released that you can watch today, but I'd be remiss to not mention the incredible Indiana Jones fan films which are just around the corner. The resurgence of this long-dormant Indiana Jones brand, ushered in by Dial of Destiny and Great Circle, have sparked a new era of fan-made tributes to the Man in the Hat. If you've been following my channel recently, you probably already know about Indiana Jones and the Shadows of Atlantis by Cornelius Films, and Indiana Jones and the Treasure of the Templars by Timeless Entertainment, both of which are aiming to release within the next 12 months and are prime candidates to take the title of greatest Indiana Jones fan film ever. Shadows of Atlantis is the second Indiana Jones film from Marcel Cornelius and a group of professional filmmakers in Germany, featuring the use of virtual production studios and cutting-edge effects. While Treasure of the Templars is a long-awaited 20-plus years in the making feature film brought to life thanks to an army of dedicated fans who set off to do something truly incredible. And although it's almost a joke that this fan film will never see the light of day, with countless false release windows having come and gone, I've confirmed that the director Jonathan Lawrence is in the late stages of production, with the film very close to finally being released. Beyond these films, there's also Indiana Jones and the Legend of the Inwood Caves, the third Indiana Jones short film from Blast Beat Productions, and Indiana Jones and the Sword of the Sea King from Firewall Films, in addition to CTL5 Productions, Indiana Jones and the Holy Lance of Christ. Very exciting time to be an Indiana Jones fan with some really high quality stuff on the way. But now let's get to our countdown of the 10 best Indiana Jones fan films that you can watch right now and owe it to yourself to do so. Number 10, Indiana Jones and the Mask of Nagarabath. There are so many films that might deserve to make the list, and coming to a decision on number 10 was no easy task, but Mask of Nagarabath is certainly a worthy entry. With over 684,000 views, it is one of the most watched Indiana Jones fan films on YouTube. Like so many entries on this list, it oozes with charm and enthusiasm for the brand. There are a lot of references in the dialogue to the Harrison Ford films, and it features a story which takes heavy inspiration from Raiders of the Lost Ark and Temple of Doom. The Temple of Doom style cult stuff in particular helps to separate this from your standard Indiana Jones fan film, as it provides some interesting moments. And the best part of the film would have to be the climactic battle between Indy and Barros, throwing down on a beach for an extended fight scene. By the way, I'll be putting links to all of the films I mentioned here in the description below, so do be sure to check them out after you've watched this video. Number 9, Indyfans. So this one is a little bit different from the rest of the movies on this list, but it definitely deserves being mentioned. It isn't as much an Indiana Jones fan film as it is a film about Indiana Jones fans. Directed by Brandon Clyley, this is a documentary filmed in 2007 and 2008 during the lead-up to the release of Indy 4. It features street interviews with fans, both casual and diehard, plus private interviews with professionals who had worked on Indiana Jones films and attractions. My favorite part would have to be the Belloc cosplayer, who has some really fun interactions with the kids. This documentary serves as an interesting time capsule of a pre-Kingdom of the Crystal Skull era before many casual fans became jaded towards the brand, and it's really fun to relive that era. Number 8. Doom Raiders. In the 90s and 2000s, a UK comedy group called Backyard Productions produced many films parodying iconic movies. From Geriatric Park to Batman Returns Forever to The Empire Strikes Backyard, the group earned notoriety online for their wacky low-budget films. Among them, Doom Raiders, a 2002 film parodying Indiana Jones, Tomb Raider, and The Mummy. Now, when I say low budget, it does have that low budget charm, but the budget and planning are clearly a step above your standard amateur film. Dedicated sets, location shooting, stock footage, and great casting of extras, giving this film an authenticity that most fan films lack. The film was available to watch for free on their website, but now it's very hard to find, and the only copy I was able to track down is very low quality and missing most of the audio. Still, there were some genuinely funny moments, and it's great to see a feature-length film that specifically parodies Indiana Jones, as we never really got something like that from Hollywood, where Mel Brooks, David Zucker, and others have seemingly parodied every notable film you can think of. It's definitely worth a look if you can find a good copy, a fun movie to watch with friends. Number 7. Indiana Jones and the Secret of the Queen's Giant. Here's a little something from our friends in New York, the first of several Indiana Jones short films by John Galligan and Blastbeat Productions. The story revolves around a real-life landmark, the tallest and oldest tree in New York City. There's a great use of available locations and assets, and a great enthusiasm for Indiana Jones on display here. The classic soundtrack cues by John Williams are very deliberately chosen and adjusted to enhance the scenes. It never feels like just blanket music. And there are a lot of classic characters that show up too, which is a lot of fun. Plus, some fun bits of action and dialogue as well. Overall, this one does a great job of capturing the tone of Indiana Jones, but through a new story. Galligan's third and final Indiana Jones short film, Legend of the Inwood Caves, is in post-production and set to release soon. Number 6. Indiana Jones and the Search for the Lost Idol. Throughout the 2000s, filmmaker Franz Casanova made a series of Indiana Jones short films, which were very well received by the community. Unfortunately, they are no longer available to view online except for his final Indiana Jones short, Search for the Lost Idol. Franz is a serious filmmaker who has done a lot of music videos and commercial work, and you can see the quality in his work here. Action scenes are fast-paced and well-edited. The story is fun, and there are some great locations used here. And once again, this is a fan film that really gets the tone right. It is disappointing that Casanova's other indie films are no longer available to view, but I can imagine that for the sake of his filmmaking career, he only wanted his highest quality work to be seen. Indiana Jones and the Search for the Lost Idol is a Spanish-language short film available with English subtitles. Now, before we move on, I do want to give a related honorable mention. Now, for this top 10 list, I'm only including fan films which are available to watch today, and this is a similar situation to Franz Casanova. Chris Stuckmann, famous YouTuber and movie critic with over 2 million subscribers, produced a pair of Indiana Jones short films in his youth, which were available on YouTube in the past, but are no longer public. However, he does have a video on his channel talking about his experiences making those short films, and they include a few clips showing off stunts, scorpions, and fun frenetic action scenes. I've never seen the full films myself, but I've been told that they are among the best indie fan films. Number 5. Indiana Jones and the Spear of Destiny. Not to be confused with the comic book of the same name, this fan film was made in 2010 by Marcel Cornelius and other fans in Germany. Like so many entries on this list, this fan film really highlights the enthusiasm for Indiana Jones and for filmmaking. Of particular note is the extensive use of special effects, as numerous locations are brought to life, such as the Himalayan mountains and Egyptian desert. And keep in mind, this is not a short. With a runtime of over an hour, this can technically be classified as a feature film. Really impressive amount of dedication on display here to complete this film. Now keep in mind that the film is in German, so you're going to be reading English subtitles once again. Now the star and filmmaker here, Marcel Cornelius, is the same one currently filming Indiana Jones and the Shadows of Atlantis, which is one of the highly anticipated Indiana Jones projects currently in the works. And it's interesting to compare the two projects to see how Marcel has matured as a filmmaker. Plus, this one's going to be in English, so even better. Number 4, The Adventures of Indiana Jones. Few fan projects can dream of being a work of such quality, but animation provides some incredible opportunities where, with time, an animator who knows their craft can produce some impressive results. Patrick Schoenmaker's The Adventures of Indiana Jones took the internet by storm in 2016, having amassed nearly 1 million views on YouTube. It's a short cartoon representing the musical intro of what would be a Saturday morning cartoon. In the span of about 80 seconds, we get all the crucial tropes of Indiana Jones, exploring tombs with Short Round, the classroom at Marshall College, romance, epic fights, and Nazis meeting their demise after unleashing a supernatural entity. Indiana Jones would be perfect for this format, and fans agree. It's shocking that Indy has never been adapted to hand-drawn animation officially. Schumacher perfectly captures the tone and feel of what makes Indiana Jones great, and this fan project serves as the blueprint for the animated show that will inevitably come to fruition one day. Number 3, Indiana Jones and the Treasure of the Aztecs. Now this is a very interesting one from the Oliver Springs Music Club and director Kevin Croxton. Croxton is an Emmy Award-winning music teacher who makes impressive fan films starring his young students. Over the years, they've made a James Bond film, a Batman episode, a Star Wars music video, and more. They produced an Indiana Jones film called Treasure of the Aztecs. Now, as you can probably tell, this short film is very well deserving of a high place on this list, thanks to two important elements: quality and charm. The charm aspect comes in the form of the all-child cast, and you just can't help but smile seeing young kids portray Indiana Jones and the other characters. Croxton's unique acting technique, which is essentially a reverse ADR, allows him to get the best performance from his young actors on set. The quality aspect comes in the filmmaking. Where you might expect a fan film starring kids to be low quality, instead it's Croxton and other professional filmmakers ensuring that the results are of the highest quality. And the soundtrack also is comprised of original compositions by Croxton, and one song performed by the children. It should be no surprise that Treasure of the Aztecs received over 60 awards, including Midwest Emmys and numerous International Film Festival awards. Plus, Marion Ravenwood actress Karen Allen has a voiceover cameo in the film. Number 2, Indiana Jones vs. Uncharted vs. Tomb Raider. This is actually a pair of short films by YouTuber Devin Supertramp, and they are fantastic. The first one pits these three iconic adventurers, Indiana Jones, Nathan Drake, and Lara Croft, against each other as they fight over a priceless artifact in Uzbekistan. And the second film sees them team up against a small army of Soviets in South America. These are two of the most polished, high-quality, professional-level fan films you will ever see. They did an incredible job with the scripts. Great stories which allow the three adventurers to remain true to their characters as they interact with each other, and they are each given their moments to shine. The fight scenes are fun and fast-paced. The cinematography is just incredible, fully capturing the breathtaking filming locations of Uzbekistan and Hawaii that were used. The acting is great too from all involved parties. Even the main villain in the second movie has this intense scene, and he was 100% believable. There were some moments here that really took me by surprise. These two short films truly blur the line between fan films and professional filmmaking, as they really do feel like Hollywood-level productions. I highly recommend these ones. And number 1, Raiders of the Lost Ark: The Adaptation. In 1981, a group of 12-year-olds sought out to remake Raiders of the Lost Ark shot for shot. They built sets, shot on an actual submarine, performed dangerous stunts like the entire truck chase, set themselves on fire, and nearly burned down the entire house in the process. Every summer, they got together and filmed a little bit more of the movie, and by 1989, it was all finished. I had heard high praise sung of this film over the years, but never got around to watching it until researching for this video. And I wasn't planning on listing it as number 1 until I watched the film and I finally got it. These kids are us! They're all of us who dreamed about being Indiana Jones, who dreamed about making movies, who dreamed of tapping into that magic. They did it all as kids! And when you're watching the film, you just can't help but root for them. And you can't help but wonder what surprises are around the corner. How are they going to do this part, and how are they going to do this? And they always manage to impress you. The film was lost to time until filmmaker Eli Roth came across a copy and managed to get the first hour screened during a film festival in 2002. The reception was phenomenal. In fact, the audience even booed when the screening was cut short for the scheduled program, the premiere of Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers. This whole incident sparked a whirlwind of attention, including TV appearances, magazine articles, a feature-length documentary, and a meeting with Steven Spielberg himself. It also led to a successful Kickstarter campaign and the production of the flying wing scene, which was the only scene they didn't complete as kids. Raiders of the Lost Ark: The Adaptation has frequently been described as not just the best Indiana Jones fan film ever, but the best fan film ever. It really makes you tap into that feeling of being a kid and loving movies, and is a 100% recommendation for all fans of Indiana Jones to see. Once again, I'll put links and information in the video description below about how you can watch this and all the films on this list, so do be sure to check them out and support the filmmakers. The Indiana Jones films have inspired audiences for years to be a better version of ourselves, to study history and myth, to dress like an adventurer, to crack bullwhips, and even to create our own artwork and films. Perhaps one of you will one day make an Indiana Jones film of your own. I look forward to seeing it. Like I said, there are a bunch of Indiana Jones fan films out there, and I want to know if there are any that I missed, so please let me know what are your favorite Indiana Jones fan films down in the comments, and be sure to like and subscribe, because I'll be keeping you informed of all the Indiana Jones news to come. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you all fortune and glory. Bye-bye now.